I suppose, I don't know, 73, 74, 75 was when I started selling a few records, but only on a very, very small scale. I was going to quite a lot of kind of Northern Soul nights where, you know, you could take a little box and sell a few things there, you know, if you knew what to look out for. You've kind of found records in the strangest of places. Sweet shops would have a record box somewhere, or carpet shops, but you never knew what you were going to find. I was a warehouse supervisor at Massey Ferguson on Trafford Park. I opted out with redundancy, bought a pile of records and went into a market stall in Chorlton. I think it's a huge charity shop now. They closed it down overnight. I'd been already looking at these premises to come in here, and that kind of just forced my hand. It was quite hard getting it going. You're reliant really on word of mouth. Probably saw about 5 people on the opening day, and 4 of them probably didn't buy anything. It didn't take too long to get busier, and to this day I'm still getting people saying to me, "Oh, I've lived in Chorlton all my life, but I didn't know there was a record shop here." You know, we've got customers who've been with us, you know, 20 odd years or more, who've now become friends. We've got a big reggae collector called Everyday Steve, and No Bag Jazzman. John McCready was called Mr Ponytail for obvious reasons. Quite a posh lady came in one Saturday morning. She said, I was on the way to the charity shop with this little box of records, and my husband said, "Oh, why don't you try and get a few shillings for them? And so would you be interested in any of these?" So there was a box of probably 50 records, of which most were okay. You know, there might have been a couple of Stones, a couple of Beatles, Paul Simon, a few things like that. But then there was a folk LP by the Spriggans of Tolgus. I thought, well, that looks interesting, and so I was kind of looking at it, and she said, "Oh yes, when I was at Cambridge, they were on at the local folk club, so I purchased one." So that's all right, very good. So anyway, bought the records. She went away delighted, and I was even more delighted when. In fact, this Spriggans of Tolgus was a folk album that they'd only actually made 99 copies of, and it was quite sought after by folk fans. And at the time, it was quite a few bob it went for. We kind of just take things as they come, really. No, we don't really plan. I don't think you can plan anything because you don't know what's coming next. I knew there was always a place for vinyl for collectors, but you know, regards the general public and particularly younger people, their swing back to vinyls, you know, took me by surprise anyway. I was in another shop and they'd got the Clash in their oldies section, and I'm going, you can't put that in your oldies section.
Yeah, it's a great two-listed building, and the BBC were there from the 50s to the 80s. Yeah. And during the course of that, they were doing routine programmes like Teenagers Turn.
You know, we've had the sort of demise of vinyl, to the rise of CD sales, to the comeback of vinyl and the demise of CD sales. You know, who would have predicted that? I certainly wouldn't have predicted that. And it's just brought into play all the LPs that there's 10 a penny of that you couldn't sell 5 years ago. Dire Straits, that's one example. Dire Straits, we would have 5 copies, 50 pence each, and not sell one. Led Zeppelin, we'd have loads of Led Zeppelin in the racks. But the old favourites of the bargain bins are still there, like Phil Collins, Paul Young and Simply Red. I think they're the 3 examples. Spriggans of Tolgus, 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 Spriggans of